fall there, and it's going to hit almost everyone. Ye's the only one who's not there. The swing out doesn't find a ton. It's actually Optical winning these duels. With Devi!
Down B.
With 3 and Ye's left alone. Devi gets 4. Paper Rex. They're not done with Bind.
Not at all. They gave themselves a hope with the eco round win. And now a few in a row as OpTic need to find a way to close this out. It's not going to be to leave Ye in 1vx situations at the end of every single round.
One enemy remaining.
Devi. He joins the stage for the first time this tournament and ends up popping off.
He has been a scoundrel this entire series. Again, you know, we mentioned it on the first map. We talk so much about these other players on the side of Paper X, and well, for good reason, right? Like, you've got a star-studded lineup over there. But Devi, he's putting everyone on notice.
Yeah, at least in these important moments. A couple of clutch situations, or anti-clutch situations, you can call them, that 2 versus 1 for him. He's only at 8 and 17, but massive, massive impact. And on the first round, his stats definitely reflected that impact. This time, not so much. Mind Freak, 18 and 16.
That's crazy. It means Devi was 4 and 17 before that round. But man, you talk about impact, you're absolutely right.
And there's even more than that. Obviously, you got the 4K in that round, but the Fade Prowler shuts down the actual push from Victor there, who's trying to go around the corner with a flash from Crashies, and it was good. Both Mind Freak and Devi were flashed, but the Prowler stopped him. He can't go against the flash if he's flashed. Forsaken challenging Bathroom here. An op of his own. An OpTic on a really, really light buy. They're gonna tuck.
No, they're not. Great response out from Crashies though. As Jink falls, you still have the Operator in play Forsaken. And now some info gathered. They understand there is some presence on Jordan. Off of that, there's the pinch, and Mind Freak gets another. Looking to be one of the cleanest rounds Paper X have put together.
Teleport's ready.
And it is worth noting, OpTic with a broken buy coming into this one. You still see the remnants of that finesse from the Stinger. Marv with just a Sheriff. Options almost non-existent. Crispy shot, but Paper X gets a 9. And this is like this coming round, Balla, this is where we'll see the impact of the timeout that was called previously.
Yes, yes, absolutely. All smiles for the Paper X fans as they put together now 4 in a row. They've come from 12 to 5. Still 3 match points to go. Important here that they build the bank. So no matter what happens in the round, they're consistently going to have money equipped to take on the push. But look at this, Forsaken might actually go for a peek into the TP.
Yeah, what is he up
to challenge Ye.
Yep.
No, he's gonna get out of there for sure.
Drops the alarm bot too. The swing is there, Victor cleans up Jing.
Not a good start here for Paper X. They've been winning the early engagements.
And off of that, Victor now one step closer to that showstopper. Forsaken still has that tour de force. Holding down showers, but again, OpTic cut noise.
Crash is also with his Seekers marked as well. This is a big round to resist. If you're Paper X, Forsaken going for a play though. Clears it out with the...
Of course he's going for a play. It's Forsaken. Why not? Crashies unaware the Seekers there, and that might actually be enough, but no, it's not.
Really want to try to pair those Seekers with the Orbital Strike too, and now the Execute. Large chunk of it taken out, still has it. That's Mind Freak Salt right there, and they want to actually work a pick with Ye.
Yeah, Finesse who's still flirting outside of showers. And you see the rotations actually coming off for Paper X. They're headed towards B. Oh, how did he not see the shoulder?
30 seconds left.
That looks so close.
I think he knows, he knows. Look at him, the crosshair.
Yes, it's good. But again, Finesse in showers, the leader for OpTic.
What?
The Doctor Deception tries finessing his way into A, and he does. Turns around, destroys Forsaken. And now Victor gets a spike down. 3v3 here, Operator still in the hands of Ye. The rotations now start to show up for Paper X. Time not on their side. Molly to clear out bench, but there's no one home.
Victor 2, showstopper to end this game.
Is that the finishing blow? There's a showstopper.
It's popped
buying
early.
Space, buying time. And Paper X so patient, stalwart in the face of what's before him. But they have to make a move, and they have to do it soon. And they move right into Ye. This third map looking like a foregone conclusion here as Benkai gets into half. He's gonna have to do it by himself, and no, Finesse does it at the end. 13-9 responses. We're headed to map 3. We're headed to Fracture, baby.
A phenomenal response from OpTic. But even in the face of a crushing defeat, Paper X with a nice little comeback there after what looked like they're going to be fully in despair the first map.
Well, and the truth is, like, that doesn't go their way by a hair.
No.
It really doesn't. Like, easily could have gone the other way, but ultimately, as you were saying, it's a fake comeback. They bamboozled the people.
So many important moments throughout the entire map. And that one definitely got us off of our seats, off of our feet. Hey, specifically too. I mean, we came into this tournament with him into the conversation. I mean, he was the conversation about best player in the world. And at the beginning of the tournament, he definitely didn't have best player in the world performances. But since playoffs, he's been amazing. The crazy thing, though, is Paper X come into this as a potential favorite, and Jing quietly sneaks his name into that conversation. So far on Haven, he was really good, but map 2 definitely struggled a little bit. We're going to have to see Fracture, where he is insane.
He struggled. Paper X struggled. Break on the other side of this one. Friends, don't go far. Fracture's next.
I cannot fit in the boxes. Stop it. Quitting was never an option. And you cannot stop it. You cannot stop it.
There's a new dawn. I cannot fit in the boxes. Stop it. Quitting was never an option. And you cannot stop it. You cannot stop it.
What a response from OpTic. They take down PaperX on their map pick of a Bind. I'm Yingsu and I'm back here with Jess and Bren. That is the OpTic we know and love. That is the OpTic we needed to see in this series.
Yeah, I mean, they almost let it slip a little bit, didn't they? Towards the end, the second half, they like to troll, a little bit of a fake comeback. But no, they ended up sealing it away. And I think a large part of it was down to the fact that PaperX are playing a bit of a slower comp and a bit of a slower tempo to it. And it's something that OpTic are very familiar with. They played against it regionally a lot of the times. The double controller, it's incredibly popular. And it really did, I think, give them an in. And they were playing with just complete confidence. Complete confidence.
It's like they knew parts of the map to pick and prod and what parts not to pick and prod. It was like they just knew the game plan before they'd even jumped in, which probably goes to the whole prep argument of, you know, Chet, the likes of Finesse and stuff, stepping up and knowing exactly what it is they would be going up against on Bind. If you let it fly, you know it's going to be picked. And OpTic have not yet, this entire tournament, lost their opponent's map pick. That's 5-0. That is an unbelievable stat to be able to hold as a team like this.
Do you feel like it was a mistake for PaperX to change their plan today?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I would agree as well. Yeah, I think the Euro is, you can't really prep for it too much, but this particular round as well, Jess, you highlighted a really interesting question.
Watch this round. If I don't show you who's what team, would you have guessed after what Victor does now, which team is this? Do you think this is Jing? Yeah, I think this is Jing. I think this is Jing. I think this is PaperX. The fact that they can give PaperX a taste of their own medicine in attacking strategy is nice. It wasn't as formidably fast as we know Jing to be, but it gave me flashes of what PaperX were known to be great at when it comes to Bind, and now, well, it's OpTic's playground now. Yeah,
we're going into Fracture, and I mean, I've got some big questions, I think, largely about, you know, what OpTic are going to be doing in terms of their preparation, how they're going to be turning it back, because their Fracture's been up and down. It's a map that I think they would consider to be one of their best ones, but maybe not so much these days, just off the back of the fact that, you know, these guys did float Fracture as a map in this pool. But one play in particular I really wanted to highlight is Ye, because this guy, we said it, we got a little bit of a listen in, he said he's locked in.
Locked in?
He looks great today. I mean, Jing's been a bit quiet, but Ye has been having the performance of his life. A lot of people criticized him in the beginning of this tournament. I don't think that anybody is criticizing him right now.
No, I mean, the guy is just on fire right now. And honestly, it's a dangerous element. You're heading into the next map. If he keeps this moving forwards, this kind of form, this is world-class, world championship caliber, which we already know. These guys have achieved it in the past.
Yeah, I think Ye being on the tip-top of his game is great. There's also another player we have to highlight if we're speaking about Fracture. Victor. Going to be another linchpin of their attacking and defensive strategy, of course. It's just going to be the whole game plan for OpTic now. They know they can do it on the best playground of PaperX. They can wipe away that fear a little bit. Now they go into a bit more of an even playing ground. Yes, the DRX result worries me a little bit, but I think there's an opportunity to reset. This is a brand new environment for them to sit on there and prove that the Fracture isn't wishy-washy for them always.
How even is this playground, though? I mean, I know we want to ignore what happened against DRX, but it feels like we can't, really.
No, I mean, honestly, I think PaperX are a team they're going to be probably coming into this next one with a lot of confidence. They started off this map with not a lot of confidence, which was surprising. They were really uneager to trade each other out, take risks and make plays as well in the early portions of Bind, and it cost them heavily. They got to be coming in with a bit of a reset mindset now. I mean, it has to be a core takeaway. And for OpTic, I don't know. My brain's empty. My head's empty. I got no thoughts.
Isn't it always empty though, Brent?
It's always empty. Yeah, I'm absolutely the desk's himbo, and I'll defend that title to my dying breath. But yeah, I don't really know what to expect from this team because they've been just so up and down on Fracture recently.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about Fracture a little bit more. This is a decider. I think I was definitely quite surprised that OpTic let through Bind and Fracture, but after seeing Bind, they have a plan. They have a plan.
Look, you can look at the stats, and I'm usually, you know me, I'm the stats-heavy girl. I will go back and I will say, well, they've only ever lost once on this map. They have a perfect international record on this map. This is a map that, you know, PaperX should win through and through. But I don't think the stats fairly dictate the variables we have on stage right now. You've got an OpTic that have won their opponent's map pick, one they thought themselves they would win, and you're coming into an environment where that's the up against DRX, lights fires under very formidable teams like OpTic's butts. They're going to be sitting there going, we lost that against DRX quite heavily, and we've learned a lot of lessons from that. That's a dangerous opponent to go up against. We're talking about OpTic in like rematches. I'm talking about OpTic on the micro level of rematches against themselves on maps. Do they lose? Not very often.
It's going to be really intriguing, I think, moving into the next map, because a lot of questions for it. I know last time as well, PaperX, I had to refresh my memory on this, but they did move away from the double duelist comp that they liked to play the last time they played Fracture. They ended up playing Jing on Sage, and it was a bit of a sticking point for them. So, I mean, when we get into the late Victor, I think it limited him too much, personally.
You think?
Yes,
okay.
because normally he's playing the Raze, and normally he's hyper-aggressive, and he's able to set up a lot of the plays. I want to see him return to that, because to me, it speaks that they are playing with confidence, and they're coming into this with confidence, which was, I think, one of the things they were massively lacking at the start of Bind. They found it towards the end of the series, but it's too late. They weren't afforded a buffer. You didn't have any more opportunities to give, any more rounds to give. It was a bit of a comeback, but it was a fake comeback.
I know you said the lack of confidence on the side of Paper X, but I feel like Forsaken has been the consistency on that team today, where I haven't seen any of that from him. Some of the other players, I feel like you said, Jing has been a little bit quiet, but Forsaken versus Victor, this is going to be really spicy.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. I think whatever ends up happening as well, it's as well that old storyline that rears its head about Victor performing well. Jesse brought it up earlier.
Yeah.
I think it is a huge part for OpTic having success on maps, is when Victor feels comfortable and is popping off. So far, it's been a little bit tempered in this series, I would say.
On this particular map, Victor does have to have a big showing. That is his role. That is the agent upon which is entrusted upon him. And to make the space, to take the space, we saw on Bind, they know the power positions on the map that are expected that PRX are going to take. If they want to stop them at the door and they want to keep up this whole attitude of these are the power positions, we own them, you can't get in without a lot of utility, and by that point we fade back. I like that. I think that works. I think they have a very clear understanding that Paper X uses momentum in the early round to the mid round based off those positions on the map. If they keep holding these power angles, they keep fighting for those spots, I really think Fracture's a map where it's very difficult to regain that space. Once you have it, it's rather yours, and that is where the momentum comes the mid to late round. I'd like to see how OpTic adapts to that.
I mean, of course, winning this gets you a spot in the grand finals on Sunday. It also means that you will get 2 bans, not just 1 ban, but 2 on that day, and that is a massive advantage if you look at the fact that Fnatic and FPX are the 2 teams you're going to have to face, and they have weaknesses, so you can force them onto their weaknesses. So this is a really, really important map here.
I think having that advantage is why, even though we say this is not a knockout game, the stakes for me couldn't be higher. If I was one of the coaches sitting down, if I'm Chet, if I'm Alex, and I'm looking at this, I say to the boys, this is the match we got to win, because it almost guarantees a leg up in the finals.
Yeah. Well, we're into the Prime Gaming Agent Select, and now, again, Brent, you mentioned you don't want to see the Sage here. Do you think that's going to be the change that's going to make a difference?
Yeah, I think putting Jing back on the Raze gives him a bit more confidence. It's the role he's comfortable with as well. He looked uncomfortable last time they played that comp. I actually spoke to Benkai after that match shortly after.
He heard you.
Yeah, I mean, and he said it's a comp that they do actually play. I mean, they haven't played it much in terms of their official matches, but they have 2 versions of it depending on what they're up against. But Jing is going to be playing the Raze, which I am a huge fan of. It goes back to that confidence-driven composition, and I think that's what you need when you're going up against a team like OpTic. They have not let their foot off the gas, despite the fact that they got absolutely flattened in map number 1.
I like it. I think it will go towards that confidence level you're speaking about. I think this last map is going to be that area where they have to. Obviously, Crash is on the KO. Spoke about him being the clutch master, the power position holder. He is going to be a linchpin just beside the Neon of Victor. I'm wondering whether or not it's going to be a Neon head-to-head kind of thing. Do we come back at halftime and we say, look at this, look what they're able to do? I'd like to see that, but I think that there's so many key stakeholders in both of these teams around the map that I'm yet to be fully sold.
Yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on, I think, as we head deeper into this map. And I love as well that we're really just retelling the stakes of this one. You win this when you go to the finals. You get 2 map bans as well. If you end up winning this one, it is a hyper important match, potentially one of the most important ones of both of these players on each side's careers.
But also the lower bracket is way too scary. I don't think you want to be dropping down there to face FPX or Fnatic, and also that also gives you an extra day where the upper bracket team can prep.
That is so important. A lot of people forget that if you have an entire 24 hours to work with, players at this level, coaches, support staff of this level, that is a lifetime of time to be able to work with to prep for one of 2 opponents, and maybe you could just prep for both. It's heaps of time, so let's see who is able to snag that by its tail.
Let's see indeed, as we head into the final map with your casters, Doug and Bola.
Thank you so much, Sue. Gird your loins, hang on to your butts. We're headed to Fracture, and what a perfect place to decide who wins this series. I mean, Bala, you talk about fast versus fast, you talk about OpTic being the ones who pioneered the Neon on this map. It just doesn't get any better.
I mean, this matchup already was so interesting with that factor involved. And right away, look at Paper X. They want to go fast against OpTic here. And yeah, he's got a great setup on top of the box. High-low with Marv.
Color me shocked. They wanted to go fast. Divide with a great trade. As you see, Jing tries to get up top and just drop down instantly. Mind Freak not able to find more than one. Finesse weak. Benkai is 2. Drops finesse. There's the swing out as Benkai with nothing in health is able to get those two at the end.
What a ridiculous round from Benkai. But even more ridiculous, OpTic just completely squeezed on that south side. The spawn, they never left it. That's the type of pace and aggression you expect from Paper X.
One enemy remaining.
Just the second as well.
Down, attacker spawn.
And honestly felt like at the end of that round, I was like, oh, he got a couple kills. But no, that was all the players.
Yeah, that was all he needed. It's going to be interesting to watch Divide playing the chamber here up against Ye.
They're both set up again, south side crunch. And they're going again.
And that stun hits 3 of them. Victor was the only one who wasn't hit, and he was a sitting duck anyway.
One enemy remaining.
Great response, but still,
I mean,
too much to do.
Even when they do get a couple, this is actually a completely failed round from Paper X after it looked like a fantastic one. Crashes will get the spike down.
And he's in a 1v2. He spots one player. Shot's not landing. The flash as he swings around. Still has a bit to work with, but Divide cleans him up.
It was a great setup, and obviously the kills came in from Forsaken. Ye was there fast. And the thing that you have to do, you have to decide which side you're going to hold, and Ye immediately is there. Gets the kill, trades it with final player Crashies.
No fireworks today, I'm afraid.
And they just commit to continue pushing through that B site. That's going to be super important because, as you saw, 2 players from Pepper X were just coming right behind them in halls. And this is going to be a super interesting game if we stay on the south side default that OpTic is playing. And it looks like we are.
Mate, I'm not going to lay out of you. I don't care if we stay there, if we go somewhere else. I just want that pace the entire time.
Well, Paper X is the first one to renege on the contract that they had. Because they're going up for this north side crunch this time, and it could cost them because OpTic looked like they want to just go fast towards the classic B execute, and they're going to be stuck in arcade. And there's a lot of space still possible here for OpTic to take.
There it is, the fast lane, the flashes, as Victor tries to find space, and he does. He's made his way up to tower. Unscathed so far, but the challenge just on the other side. He swings out.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he overstays his welcome. That's the danger when you push into that kind of thing, but still, OpTic have a chance at this. Marv is weak. He gets into a 1v1, and Marv! Ice in his veins as he gets 3.
Keeps Crashes up 2 as we go into the next. So both guns stay, and even though he didn't get picked up, that as long as he doesn't fall completely at the end of the round, he'll be right back into it. Look at this from Mark. The second shot.
Oh, the third.
God.
All of them.
Jimmy? Go.
And it's calm. It's not the same type of aggressive energy from OpTic after they got run down on, and they will swap. Still no presence on the north side, but they want to go fast to punish Beckett or Mind Freak here.
And it's actually Ye who welcomes that aggression. Victor takes a bit of his own into the lap of Mind Freak and dismisses him. Again, these rounds, they play out so quickly. Opening seconds of the round, and it almost feels like it's decided.
Spike planted.
This is the type of play you expect to be countering Paper X, and right now, so far, looks like it will.
Divide looking to find some value with that tour de force. Again, in a 3v5. The nice thing is he has plenty of options to pick from. 5 targets on the other side. Can he even find one?
They're already saving. Divide just wants to find something with the tour de force.
I know he's not even going to get a chance, it doesn't look like.
I mean, he will if he just opens up the door. Knock, knock.
The chance you want? Nothing. Clean round out from OpTic. They weathered the aggression coming to them from the western side of the map. They applied a bit of their own on the eastern side, and it was a win all around.
Yeah. And Ye, who has been phenomenal all series long, touted as potentially the operators, players on Fnatic, on Guild, on OpTic now, touted consistently as the counter to Paper X. And as soon as he got that op online, he finds himself a kill against an aggression down tree, and Forsaken's still not done. With the weapons that they have, they're gonna go for it a little bit more. Finally, a north side spread for arcade control here from OpTic. He's in trouble.
Yes, he is. The hold out from Forsaken cleans him up.
But look at the space taken now. Victor's already in their spawn. He's pushed up. Nobody else on this B site.
And Marv just joined the northern side off of the rope, so they've made their intentions very clear. They have full B control. They should be able to get the spike down, but they want to fight.
Just a great flash setup for Victor to get more. This is dangerous, though. Forsaken's picked up an op. His ult did run out, though.
Spike
But he's got
planted.
the op. Maybe he can find something with it, a gift. No armor on 2 of them. Paper Rex! Speaking of gifts, Ness never saw him. Woo! Crashy's able to swing around, take care of Jing. Numbers advantage in favor of OpTic here. Paper Rex are going to have to somehow get over that, get over the fact that time's not on their side. They're going to go. Are they going for this? They want to keep the op. They're just going to go. Can Forsaken slip his way in? The tap is there, and that should extinguish things.
They can fight the cross, though, here. They can make this expensive, and they will. A shot from Mind Freak, and Forsaken did escape with the op. And they could have even kept them still. On the backside of Gen there. But clean round, clean reaction from OpTic. To just push in after Forsaken gets this kill onto Ye. That's a great stun from him. But this is what I mean, the reaction's so good. This flash to set up Victor. Levi did a good job as well to dodge that, but OpTic feeling some momentum behind them. As we go for a Paper Rex timeout.
Early one, too.
I mean, all 5 rounds so far has included a tree push, except for that north side crunch that they did. So there's got to be more depth to this. They've got to have a game plan that allows them some flexibility, because right now OpTic is a brick wall.
Slight lead here, but a lead nonetheless for OpTic. You see Forsaken on your screen. Now for Ness, trying to talk through how they're going to approach the rest of this half. Some interesting ultimates online on the side, really, of both teams, right? Benkai has his Rolling Thunder, Mind Freak 1 point away from the Viper's Pit, so they have some tools here to try to counter some of what's been going on, but you're right, it hasn't felt like Paper Rex have had the flexibility that they need to weather what OpTic is throwing at them.
The really nice thing for OpTic is on both of their defaults that they've shown so far, they've been able to have good reactions no matter what Paper Rex throws at them. This time you expect it to slow down a little bit, but Forsaken again at tree. And we do have a set molly here from Marv. Wonder where that's going to go. Maybe Gen, maybe somewhere at tower.
Tower perhaps, because it seems like that's where they want to go.
Yeah, backside of tower.
But the great delay, and now the Rolling Thunder that we mentioned to push them back, but Victor has gotten separated from the team. Is that going to be okay, though, as the flash keeps them back? Yeah, with the operator holding his tight angle patient, as Marv is right behind him.
That's a Jing on the other side, too, with Divide. And they're holding firm. This feels like a first for Paper Rex.
But this feels so like OpTic. Make a bunch of noise at the beginning, and then turn the volume all the way down.
And the nice thing, usually these pace changes make it really easy to set up a trap play, but for OpTic, they've already baited out that trap.
This feels like vintage OpTic. Victor's able to take care of Forsaken. Numbers their way. You see Benkai with the fault line in his face. And now a Victor too, but he's able to dismiss it. Benkai from up top! He's able to find his second! Mind Freak is doing it too. The orbital strike comes down.
Spikes down to...
Oh, what a shot out from Ye! 2v3 here, and Device showing he can wield that thing just as well. Jin cleans him up. We're tied at 3.
And Paper Rex slowing down by miles per hour. I mean, they just slowed down to a crawl. They're not even moving on the map at this point. Divide with the op on one side of the map, and then Benkai with the very, very nice swing. Also with the molly there from Mind Freak. Very cool.
I don't know how Benkai gets 2 remaining. But either way he does, we're tied at 3 piece. Operator in the hands of Ye, and 1 for Devi as well.
Here comes a fast set play for OpTic again into Halls.
Nice. knife, relay bulging on the swing, nothing.
And this is complete cause for them to just chill for a second because got their backs covered. Yeah, he's got the op to work with, and they've got the opening pick.
Oh, the nade is perfect. Benkai, can he tuck? Is he safe?
That smoke might fade, though. Benkai might be able to do massive damage.
Again from up top. Undetected. Finds more value.
You take wall on, too. They can come out of halls really easily here, especially with that next kill.
Great shout out from Divide. Finesse trying to take care of them both, and he does. A 2v2 here. Mind Freak so far away, but he gets a kill that he needs. Forsaken does too.
Hey, you could get yourself on the desk over there with that sign.
Mind Freak carries the Viper's fit in the next round. Forsaken was able to pick up the op. That timeout, it worked.
Finesse almost brings it back, but definitely a miscalculation. That smoke fading right as they take their eyes off of it, right as they decide they actually want to capitalize on the hit on the first kill. And Paper Rex take the lead on this map. Much closer affairs so far in this first half.
Yeah, but that's what the people want, man.
It's what the people want.
That's what the people want. And it was, again, it was Paper X who called timeout. They figure out what's going on, and now OpTic attempt to do a bit of the same.
Yep. And a reminder, too, this is the upper bracket final. So both these teams, whether they win or lose, have another chance. And it's so important, actually, for OpTic, in my mind, to take down Paper X here for the health and safety of this tournament, because Paper X, with a 2-map ban advantage in the grand finals, would be...
That's outrageous.
That is so hard for anybody. I mean, I don't care who you are. If you're Fnatic, FPX, who we're still waiting on that lower bracket match later in the day. If you're OpTic going up against them in a rematch, too, I mean...